Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Appreciate all your support. Shout out to the 19. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. All right, so this is important. This is something I've been thinking about for a while, and I gathered some examples for you. We know how Caitlin Clark was targeted last year, and I promise you she would have been the one targeted in the Mystics if she had played. And that may have been part of the reason they may have gotten wind and they decided, you know what? They're going to target someone who has been outspoken as a fan of Caitlin Clark's and as a teammate that she would protect Caitlin Clark. And of course, that is Sophie Cunningham, who was targeted. And, now there's been conversation about WNBA has to get it in gear. I said it was good that the officials called them as more than regular fouls. I think I think I had originally said in something that they were both flagrants, but I think one was a flagrant and one was a technical. But we may need to have bigger consequences, more consequences for this type of stuff. There may not be enough punishment because you can accumulate a number of these fouls before anything actually really happens to you. And it got me thinking too, how do they change that dynamic this year? Um, because one thing that really irked me last year is not a single teammate defended Caitlin Clark when she was taking these shots. And she took a lot of shots because let's keep in mind, it wasn't just that she was, 17 or 18% of the flagrants. There were a lot of hard fouls on Caitlin Clark that were not people going for the basketball. There were a lot of hard fouls where she was getting forearms into the face and they weren't even being called fouls at all. And her teammates absolutely did not defend her. I want to make that clear because this is why in the back of my mind, and I know they're really good friends and all that, and I know people talk about how nice Aaliyah Boston is and all that, and I like Aaliyah Boston, but every time I look at something like this, I have a question mark about Aaliyah Boston as a teammate, and that was, of course, the Kennedy Carter hit on Caitlin Clark, and Aaliyah Boston did absolutely nothing but slowly stroll over to help her up. No reaction at all. No getting in Clark's face Carter's face right there. No yelling at her. Nothing. And her teammates didn't do anything either. And of course, Christy Sides is such a complete spineless coward that she says she wasn't even looking, she didn't see it. Her team is inbounding the ball, but the coach isn't paying attention. Really? You're a coward, Christy Sides. I'm just saying, you're a coward. And so, and a lot of people were, when this came up and this happened, a lot of people say, oh, well, no, you're going to lose the game and you can't, blah, blah, blah. First of all, there are times when you should get a technical and get thrown out, depending on what's happening. But setting that aside, you can make a point without it costing your team games. Okay, hopefully I can show a lot of these, but this one was recent, and I'll just giving you an example, right? Where look, boom, right that thing. He said no right away. He said, no way. You are not doing that to my teammate. You are not going to take cheap shots or intimidate a teammate of mine. I'm not letting it happen in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't take much to do that, but it means a lot. Okay, across this. Hey, guess what? Guess what? This is Sophie Cunningham and teammate Leah Copper defending her. And by the way, that was I don't even think there was a foul there. It was maybe a jump ball, but right, they all come running up and get in her face. And look, it's not Sophie. Look, Kalia Copper gets in Courtney Williams' face. Courtney, who likes to have brawls in parking lots, yet is somehow still in the league. But Kalia Copper defending Sophie Cunningham. And I promise you, in that play, she did not get thrown out or cost her team the game. Right here was a great one for me. Hopefully, you can see this. The NFL, Fox, they're pretty restrictive on things, but the play is already dead here. Okay, this was a game against the Packers, and they decide they're going to not just push Barkley back long after the whistle, but then they toss him. Now watch our quarterback, the important guy who makes what 50 million a year or whatever, is going to defend his teammate, right? Against a lineman who probably outweighs him by, but see, there's the threat. The play was long over. The quarterback says, and they did throw a flag. No, he said, nope, you are not going to. And then boom, here come the linemen. They all surround him. No, we're not letting that happen. You are not taking cheap shots at our teammate, the one who ran for over 2,000 yards and helped him to a Super Bowl this year. You're not going to do it. So yes, it can be done, folks. And I think, well, let me show. I got two different ones. Hopefully, one of these will be allowed. But this is on the play against Sophie, where she's right. She gets there's the shove in the back, and Dwana Bonner right away claps. Said, no, 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 y'all ain't doing that. Sykes is a dirty, dirty player, by the way. I promise you that would have been Caitlin Clark. She is a absolute Hatelin, 100%. And then we had this one real quick from another angle. It happened right away where you're going to get that shove on Sophie. I mean, she should have been tossed out of the game for that, by the way. And Bonner said, nope, 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 no. So my hope is that this year that now I'm not I think the cheap shots are going to be there. Absolutely. Other teams are going to play physical with the fever and they're going to do all this nonsense. But so you need one, the WNBA has to get it under control. They got to make it clear with the officials. You cannot tolerate this. And it cannot just be technicals and flagrant ones. It needs to be tossing players out of games and suspending them. There was nothing, just like Carter's hit, there was nothing basketball about that. Nothing basketball about that. Now, what's promising was seeing Dewana Bonner get up in the face, but I still have a question about it, and I'll get to in a minute. Now, this is Sophie Cunningham. We're going to listen because she's talking about this sort of thing.
You do the Sabrina Carpenter to Caitlin's Taylor Swift. That was a joke, but I guess people really took that seriously.
People love it. So what excites you about playing with her this year?
I mean, you know, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And so just to be alongside of her and maybe relieve the pressure, being able to shoot and spread the court for her to go do her thing. She's still young, and I think that I've been taken under, Diana took me under her wing, and I've learned a lot from her. And now I hope to kind of do the same for Caitlin if she wants it. I just think the relationship piece is huge, and when you're trying to do something great, it takes everybody. And so I want her to go do her thing, and anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here. But again, I think that like just the competitor that I am, I'm fierce, I'm sassy. I stick up for my teammates, I stick up for myself, and so sometimes I think that's okay to be feisty and to be yourself. But I'm excited to play in front of the fans. I think that she's drawn a lot of people, not only to Indiana, but to the women's game as a whole. And so just to be a part of something great, just really happy to be here.
I mean, I love the whole thing and the mindset, and she's right that it takes everyone, and the relationships with your teammates are important. And there were a lot of issues last year just throughout the WNBA, and I think that embrace, and then the key, obviously, in there was I stick up for my teammates. And I think that's part of the reason that Sophie Cunningham was targeted since Caitlin Clark wasn't in the game. And it was great to see Bonner do that. And the question is going to be, will we see that from teammates when Caitlin Clark is the target? But here you go. I want to show this because, again, live and well, and I'll just make this quick, but this is what you're getting from it, right? Kiki Iriafen with the dirty play on Sophie Cunningham. And then here you go. Because, again, these aren't basketball fans. These are whack job, nut job activists with IQs of a doorknob. Sorry, doorknob, no offense. Kiki Iriafen just took down MAGA Barbie. I stand with Kiki. So, again, not about basketball. He stands with violence. And I know that is overstating a little bit the play, but I'm making that point, right? Because she's very okay with the dirty play in the league as opposed to basketball. That's what matters to her. People that she likes can attack people that she doesn't like because it's not just her, right? And here's shout out to W360. The Slows are upset that Dewana Bonner defended her teammate Sophie Cunningham. You see why no one takes you people serious as sports fans, 100%, right? So here, look what we're getting here. I'm cover your eyes if you don't like some of these words. Went from playing with your husband and kids. I don't think Aaliyah Thomas is her husband, but anyway, to now you got to defend MAGA Barbie. What a life. Um, really? Again, bizarre. Maybe it was another one with the words that were bad. But anyway, same thing, right? Then here, dang, wishing violence over a basketball game is crazy because the comment is we need Kennedy Carter back in the league to smack the crap out of Sophie Cunningham. I'm so sure this is normal. Yeah. Here's the one with the bad words that I'm not, CC fans calling Timpson KK is like a white boy saying the N word to fit in. You idiots didn't even know who she was a month ago. Jesus F. Christ. See, these people are emotionally unhinged, and emotionally unhinged people with low IQs, their first thing they resort to is violence. Right? That's the first thing that, like, that's all that they have. They have no self-control at all, even in words, right? Even in words. This is the reaction because apparently Michaela Timpson's nickname that I believe she got in school, right? Correct me if I'm wrong on this. And so the fans are calling that like they didn't make that nickname for her. That's what it's her nickname, so that's what they're calling her. And this is how people are responding. So like I think I said in another video recently, buckle up. Like I said, it's not going to, I want to get this off the screen. Um, Buckle up. It's not going to get better. They're actually ratcheting it up. It is absolutely wild. But the key for me in all this is I want to see what I saw from Dewana Bonner. I want to see that when something happens to Caitlin Clark. Like seeing that from Bonner was awesome. I love seeing that because we didn't see that from the Fever team last year. And I'm guessing that's part of the reason there was some turnover, right? Like it wasn't just talent. There was sabotage there was a lot of the enemy within type of thing going on with the Indiana Fever team last year. So now, next step for me is I loved what I saw from Bonner, but I also wanted to go through the other stuff for the people who were like, oh, well, no, yes, you can defend your teammates. No, it doesn't mean getting tossed out and suspended and losing a game. There is a time and a place, obviously, and there's also how far you can go. But I saw nothing from the Fever teammates. I'm sorry, I like Aaliyah Boston, but on that play, what I saw there, got to shut the window. That was awful. I mean, that was like, I mean, she didn't react at all. It was like, okay, the opponent comes on and slams my teammate from behind, knocks her to the ground, and she just slowly drops the ball and meanders over there to help her up. I'm sorry, a good teammate in that situation was in Carter's face right away, making it very clear that's not going to happen again. And don't come for me on the Leah Boston stuff. I like Aaliyah, but that was a mistake, and I want to see something different there. I want to see her play with an edge. You can be nice off the court. Nice isn't on the court. I used to have this conversation with I had a really nice group of girls that I coached soccer with, and that was part of the coaching is having them make that switch, how you are. And I'm not saying, and again, just to be clear, we're not talking about being dirty, but how you are once you get over that white line, right, over that line onto the court isn't necessarily how you are off the court, right? You can't be that nice off of it on it. You have a little bit of an edge, but I'm going to leave it there. Appreciate you checking out this video as always. This is a key to the season. I believe I want to see that this team actually comes together and has each other's back, and that includes Caitlin Clark. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel on the way to 12,000 before the season starts. Appreciate all your support. Go have the day you deserve. I will talk to you later.